Jensen, and the book that I'm going to read today is The Sweet Smell of Christmas. One morning, Little Bear sat up in bed and sniffed with his nose. "Something wonderful is going to happen," he said. "My nose tells me so." Little Bear ran downstairs to the kitchen. "Mommy, what do I smell?" he asked. "Christmas is coming. I think that's what you smell," said Mother Bear. "When will Christmas be here, Mommy?" "Christmas will be here tomorrow. I'm baking this apple pie for Christmas." Little Bear sniffed at the pie. It smelled delicious. "Yes, I can smell Christmas. It's coming soon," he said. "Here's Bear's apple pie. Can you smell Christmas too?"
No.
After breakfast, Father Bear pulled Little Bear on his sled. "Are we going to find Christmas, Daddy?" asked Bear. "No, we're going to find a nice little pine tree to take home for our Christmas tree," said Father. They searched in the woods until they found a bushy little pine tree. Father chopped it down with his axe and put it on the sled. Little Bear helped pull the tree home over the snow. It was a nice fresh tree, and it smelled so piney. Little Bear poked his nose into the branches and sniffed a deep sniff. "Now I can smell Christmas," he said. "It's not far away." "You smell the pine tree too? Doesn't it smell nice?" Then the Bear family trimmed their tree. It was fun. They hung lovely glass balls and silvery tinsel on the branches. On the very top, Father put a beautiful star. "Something is missing," said Mother. "What can it be?" She hurried to the kitchen. When she came back, she was carrying a big jar. "Candy canes," she said. "We forgot to put candy canes on our tree." Bear held a candy cane in his paw and sniffed. I can smell Christmas. It's coming very soon," he said. "Here's a candy cane for you to sniff. Can you smell Christmas coming?" Little Bear hung the candy canes on the branches. At last, the tree was finished, and oh my, it was so beautiful. Little Bear jumped up and down and clapped his paws. Mother Bear was working in the kitchen. "What are you making, Mommy?" asked Bear. "Gingerbread boys," said Mother. "You may help me." Bear liked doing that. He cut out the gingerbread boys with a little tin cutter. Then he made their funny faces. And when he smelled them cooking, Bear said, I can smell Christmas. It's almost here." "This is your gingerbread boy. Does it smell like Christmas too?" While Bear was hanging a gingerbread boy on the tree, he heard singing at the window. There in the snow were some carolers. How lovely it was to hear Christmas music in the frosty night. Mother Bear invited the carolers indoors for some steaming hot chocolate. Bear had some too. He put his nose down close to his cup. The hot chocolate smelled sweet and chocolatey. "Oh, now I can smell Christmas," Bear said. "It's going to happen right away." "Now you smell the hot chocolate. It smells so good." Bear was right. It was almost Christmas. The Bear family hung their stockings by the fireplace. Then Little Bear hurried to bed. He listened for Santa's reindeer landing on the roof. He listened and listened. Then he fell asleep. "Ho, ho, ho," laughed merry Santa Claus as he slid down the chimney. "My, what a pretty tree," he said, nibbling a gingerbread boy. "And what a good little bear lives here. I will leave him lots of toys." He dug in his toy sack and put everything a bear could dream of under the tree. At last it was morning. Little Bear woke up. He sniffed. He said, "It's Christmas Day at last." Then he ran downstairs to find his stocking. There was a big juicy orange on top, and down inside Bear found a little red train, a storybook, a tiny ball, and candies and puzzles. Bear sniffed at his orange. "Now I know it's Christmas," he said, and he ate that orange up. "Here's a Christmas orange for you. Can you smell Christmas now?" Mother and Father Bear hurried downstairs to open their presents too. There was a nice tie for Father and warm mittens. Mother found a necklace and lots of pretty things, and under the tree for Little Bear were a big red scooter, a drum, a little toy horse, a bugle, and a big striped ball. Best of all, there was a soft furry teddy bear, a Christmas friend for Bear. All the bears agreed it was the happiest Christmas ever. The next book I'll be reading is Santa is Coming to Michigan, written by Steve Smallman and illustrated by Robert Dunn and Jim Mitchell. Well, boomed Santa, have all the children from Michigan been good this year? Well, mostly, answered a little old elf as he bustled across the busy workshop to Santa's desk. Santa peered down at the elf from behind the tall, teetering piles of letters that the children of Michigan had sent him. Mostly? Asked Santa, looking over the top of his glasses. Yes, but they've all been especially good in the last few days, said the elf. Jolly good, chuckled Santa. Then we'd better get their presents loaded up. Even though the sack of presents was really, really big and the elves were really, really small, they seemed to have no trouble loading it onto Santa's sleigh. Though how they managed to fit such a big sack onto one little sleigh, even they didn't know, but somehow they did. Splendid, boomed Santa. We're ready to go. Not quite, Santa, said the little old elf. One of our reindeer is missing. Missing? Which reindeer is missing? Asked Santa. The youngest one, Santa, said the elf. It's his first flight tonight. I've called him and called him, but... Just then, a young reindeer strolled up, munching on a large carrot. Where have you been? Asked Santa. The youngest reindeer was crunching so loudly that it was no wonder he hadn't heard the little old elf calling. Oh, well, never mind, said Santa, giving the reindeer a little wink. He took out his Santa nav and tapped into the coordinates for Michigan. This will guide us to Michigan in no time. Crunch, crunch, crunch. With a flick of the reins and a jerk of the harness, off they went racing through the sky. Ho, 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 laughed Santa. We'll soon have these presents delivered to the Great Lakes state. Santa's sleigh flew through the starry night, heading south across the Arctic Ocean. On they flew in the wintry air over Canada. In the wink of an eye, the sleigh was flying above Lake Superior and on to Michigan. The youngest reindeer was very excited. He had never been away from the North Pole before. They had just crossed over Lake Huron when, suddenly, they ran into a blizzard. Snowflakes whirled around the sleigh. They couldn't see a thing. The youngest reindeer was getting a bit worried, but Santa didn't seem concerned. In 2 miles, said the Santa nav in a bossy lady's voice. Keep left at the next star. But ma'am, Santa blustered, I can't see any stars in all this snow. Soon they were hopelessly lost. Then, through the howling blizzard, the youngest reindeer heard a faint ringing sound. Ding dong. He looked over at the old reindeer with the red nose, but he had his head down. Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. There was that sound again, like church bells ringing. The youngest reindeer turned around to look at Santa, but Santa wasn't listening. He seemed to be arguing with a little box with buttons on it. With a flick of the harness and a jerk of the reins, the youngest reindeer gave a sharp tug and headed off toward the sound of the bells, pulling Santa and his sleigh behind him. Whoa! Cried Santa, pulling his hat straight. What's going on? Then, to his surprise, he heard the ringing sound. Well done, young reindeer, he shouted cheerfully. It must be the bells of St. Joseph's Church in Detroit. Don't worry, children, Santa is coming. Then, suddenly, crunch. The sleigh hit something as it plummeted through the snow clouds. You have arrived, said the Santa nav unhelpfully. Finally, when the snow had died down and the clouds parted, Santa discovered exactly where they were, stuck right at the very top of the Renaissance Center. "Everybody pull!" The reindeer pulled with all their might until at last, with a screeching noise, the sleigh scraped clear of the Renaissance Center. Santa steered them safely over the skyscrapers, along Atwater Street, above Milliken State Park and Harbor, and down into Gabriel Richard Park. Luckily, there was no real damage done, but the packages had all been jumbled up. Santa quickly sorted the presents into order again. "All right," said Santa. "Thanks to this young reindeer, I know where we are now. Don't worry, children. Santa is coming." Santa drove his sleigh expertly from rooftop to rooftop all over Michigan, popping in and out of chimneys as fast as he could go. There were big chimneys in Grand Rapids and small chimneys in Kalamazoo. He squeezed down thin chimneys on Mackinac Island and plummeted down fat chimneys in Traverse City. The youngest reindeer was amazed at how quickly they went. Santa never seemed to get tired at all, and it looked like the children in Michigan were going to be very lucky this year. But the youngest reindeer was starting to feel a bit weary and quite hungry too. In house after house, Santa delved inside his sack for packages of every shape and size. He piled them under the Christmas trees and carefully filled up the stockings with surprises. In house after house, the good children of Michigan had left out a plate of cookies, a small glass of milk, and a big crunchy carrot. Santa took a little bite out of each cookie, a tiny sip of milk, wiped his beard, and popped the carrots into his sack. From Grand Haven to Sheboygan, from Ann Arbor to Petoskey, from Marquette to Menominee, and all the places in between, Santa and his sleigh visited every house in the UP and the Mitten. Santa delivered presents to Andrew, Allison, Anna, Arabelle, Archie, Ashley. The list went on and on. Zach, Zara, Zeb, Zoe, Zybel. Finally, Santa had delivered the last present on his long Michigan list. "Great moons and stars," sighed Santa. "It's past midnight and my sack seems as heavy as ever. I hope I haven't forgotten anyone." Santa opened his sack to check, but it was full of juicy, crunchy carrots. Santa divided the carrots among all the reindeer. "Well done," he said, patting the youngest reindeer gently on the nose. But the youngest reindeer didn't hear him. He was too busy munching. Then it was time to set off for home. Santa reset his Santa nav for the North Pole, and soon they were speeding above Lansing, past Saginaw, and all over lighthouses, through the crisp, starry night. "Ho, ho, ho," laughed Santa. "Merry Christmas, Michigan." Don't miss our Great Start Santa Express on Thursday, December 17th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at the Delta Schoolcraft ISD. It will be a fun drive-through Santa experience for kids ages 0 to 8. Kids can wave to Santa and Mrs. Claus from the safety of your own car. First 100 children receive a goodie bag with a book, craft, snack, and more. Kids can drop their letters to Santa in our postage box and receive a letter back from Santa in the mail. Be sure to register if you want a letter from Santa. You can find the link in the video comments below. We'll be back every month for our online story time through April. Plus, look for our new interactive online family fun time coming in January. Hope you'll join us again. Happy holidays to you all.